So first of all, let me hear you comment, and then let's talk about why you had to close your catfish business.
All right. Well, so first and foremost, I live in the US. I've been here for about 25 years. And so I wanted to start a business back home, you know, just because I love the country and I wanted to contribute in my own way. I'm a business-minded person. So I, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, I started my fish farm. You know, I would call it like big, semi-big business. It was quite a bit of money to join. But over the years with insecurity, let me tell you where it all started from. So when the price of the dollar started increasing, it affected the price of fish feed. Now, the catfish business is very capital intensive. We're not talking about small money here. And it's supposed to be very profitable, you understand? So usually we would flip between foreign feed and local feed to, you know, to get our fishes and the table size up to 2.5 kg size fish. And the profit wasn't bad at all. It was good. It gave me reasons to come home and stay, sell my fishes and come back to my job over the years. But then in the last year and a half, with insecurity, all the farmers, you know, being driven from their farmlands, insecurity, and then the cost of the dollar, the cost of feed just went astronomically high. It wasn't making sense anymore. But because I had a passion for it, I needed a reason to continue to hold on to it. Not because that's where I'm a professional in the US, but because I really wanted to hold on to something back home. However, within the last 2 harvests, one in December and the last one was just about 3 weeks or a month ago, it just didn't make sense anymore. It just wasn't worth my time. Because in some cases, I couldn't even get my money back. You understand? But the people I'm using, it had nothing to, I have cameras in my farm. I'm able to monitor sales when it's going on. So it's not about people stealing from me. There might be a bit of that, but that wasn't really what shut the business down. Why? Because the location where I have my farm in Benin, we have over 1,000 farmers. And I'll tell you this, that in the last year, people have reduced their stock. People who used to stock 15,000 fingerlings reduced it to 7. And then people who used to stock 2,000 reduced it to 500. And a lot of people just closed up their farms and just moved away. What I'm saying is this, is the economic, how the economy is really has gone to it's nothing to write home about. If you're not in the food business where you're
be careful with your words. Be careful with your words. Don't use anything that is whatever. Continue. I can hear you.
Okay, all right. But I'm saying that everybody keeps saying do something back home, contribute to whatever, but it's just not working out. The economy has really, really gone to the other side, has flipped over. And, you know, with this, the situation with the currency that happened early in the year, insecurity, just name it, everything that has to go wrong has gone wrong. And so I had no choice but to shut down. I just had to. I feel badly for the people I actually employed. You understand? Some were on full-time basis, some on part-time, some on as needed basis, but I had to shut down. It didn't make sense because you don't run business on emotions. You understand? I'm not going to say I'm running a business, you know, just to, yeah, but sure, those people are still people I'm going to send money to here and there, but at the end of the day, they do not own jobs anymore. Now they don't join unemployment market. So it's very painful to me. And I like to talk to whoever wants to listen that something has to give. And I don't know what it is, but we can't continue like this. The situation has gotten really bad. And then talking about the senators, if you want me to talk about the senators.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So you see, let me tell you, leadership, this change has to start from leadership somewhere, somehow. If you're asking the Nigerian people to sacrifice, right, then we have to see what sacrifice you are also making. It should come from the top. And then that way, anything you do, every little effort you make, the people will feel like you're working, you're in this together, you're a team. The leaders are sacrificing and the small people are sacrificing. But don't ask me to sacrifice when I don't see the kind of sacrifice you are, you know, you are doing or you're putting up on your own, you know. And then to make it worse, he's talking about vacation money. And I just came from vacation. I went on vacation to Mexico. I was on a cruise. I just got back just on Monday, which was just 2 days ago. And I went back to work yesterday. You understand? But it's our leaders they're talking from one part of their mouth and doing something with the other part. They have to put their mouth where the money is. It's I might be here. I've been here for 25 years. I'm telling you, I just turned 50 last year. I do want to come home. I'm blessed here. My kids are all grown. We do want to come back home. We're very interested in what happens back home. We invest back home, but we're not happy. And I'll tell you this. So when I went to Mexico, right, it was for an in-law's 60th birthday. And everybody there, about 25 of us, most of them are approaching retirement age. They couldn't even enjoy the application because everybody's talking about Nigeria. That's how passionate people are about if everything was good, if things were fine. Yeah, we would come here and make money, but we'd come back home and just, set up factories, set up businesses and employ people and come back home with our talents and skills and all that stuff. It's really sad because I'll tell you this. In the last 25, 27 years or so, I just kept hoping that, you know what, it's going to get better, things are going to get better, things are going to improve. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And it breaks my heart. Yeah.
Now, somebody said something. He said, sell the fish, sell the pond and the land, cut your losses.
Well,
she's not suffering. She can still travel to go to Mexico for holiday. What about that man that was hired as a laborer?
Yeah.
Who is relying on that fish pond for his monthly salary?
Exactly.
What about the woman whose job it is to take the fish to the market to sell? She has no work. She can cut her losses.
Exactly.
For some people, they can't cut the losses because all they have is losses.
A lot of people back home borrow monies from loan sharks or whatever to run their businesses. Well, so in situations like assuming now that I lost money, right? If the money I lost was borrowed money, how am I supposed to pay back? How am I supposed to pay back a loan shark or whatever meeting or people in December when you come to the fishing community, you see people rushing to sell their fish so they could pay back the loans because it extends for a year or whatever, so that they can give them back for the next harvest. What happens to those people? I mean, you understand? It's not about me. It's about the people who live there. It's about the young boys who can't afford to go to school in the fishing communities. Well, guess how they feed their families, how they help their parents. They have wheelbarrows they rent. And for everybody that comes to buy fish, they'll charge you 100 Naira to move your fish from the pond to where you parked your car. And, this boy, I'm talking about boys as young as maybe 12 to 17 or 18. That's what they do. And after school, they come to do these little jobs. They'll end up with maybe 1,000 Naira to give to their moms, to buy them dinner or whatever the case may be. What about the people who dig the ponds? We have people who dig ponds. We have people who come and help you net your ponds. We have people who, come and help you sort your fish when you're selling, So a whole economy, a whole community, the whole nation. These are small businesses. That's what keeps business here in America. That's what keeps the economy going. Small businesses. And then when you have people like me, now that I've had this experience, when I come back and I tell people in the diaspora, keep your money, instead of where you carry your money, go there and lose, keep your money. How does that help anybody? All right. So the impact is deeper than what you know. Have people now who are saying, Madam, no forget us, I beg, no forget us. And then you understand, but then nobody wants to keep giving people money. They want to work. They're not saying they don't want to work, but then the business has to close because we can't continue to lose. But I do have ponds for sale. I mean, I'm sorry for rent. I'm renting out my ponds. I'm not selling. The farm is still going to be there. If I see anybody that wants to rent, fine. But it's not profitable anymore. So many people have left the business. I'm telling you, a lot. But we kept holding on. We kept holding on.
I'm never going to blame you for that decision.
Of course
because
not.
At the stage at which we're in right now, Nigeria needs some harsh realities.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
We need to face some very harsh realities. And this is definitely top of the list.
That's correct. And this is the same for every other business out there that is free. You understand? This is the same for every other business. Is it the transportation business? When you talk to people who own transport company. My friend, she's actually, she owns buses, for transportation. They can't even fuel the car. They can't fuel it. It's not sustainable. The business is not bringing in money. So they'll pack them. Maybe out of 5 cars, you can only use 1. And it's people are trekking. People are waking up. I'm being told early in the morning to walk to. And have you heard about a lot of people who are now sleeping in churches across the city? Any church that's close to their place of work, they go to, please, let me just sleep here. I'll sleep here from Monday to Friday so I could go back home to be with my family during the weekend, because they can't afford, the situation is it's gotten really bad. And, I feel so, I don't know, we can't save the world, definitely not. But the government came, and then the policies just, it's not as if the people haven't gone through so much already. But this recent policies just threw everyone off, and we didn't see it coming. And we as business people, I'm speaking from the point of, I don't live there. I don't feel the pain of the people there. But I own a business there. I didn't want to close up my business. I started a business in the first place because I wanted to employ people.
How much did you invest in this fish pond?
I would say about 25 million.
Now, how much did you make back from your 25 million investment?
It's been within the last 3.5 to 4 years. It was profitable at first. It was profitable enough for me to want to continue. Let's just say.
But did you make your money back, or you were beginning to make your money back?
I was beginning to make my money back when things started flipping to the other side. You understand? But I didn't lose my capital, though. I did not.
Okay.
Mostly not. I wouldn't say I did. I didn't. The last sale I made, I was short by just about 200,000, which is really nothing. I'm very lucky. Other people weren't that lucky.
What kind of fish did you have?
Catfish.
Only catfish?
Only catfish, yeah.
But so how many ponds did you have?
10. I'm talking about earthen ponds, like, the ones they dig in the earth. Huge, 30 by 50 feet. I had 10 of that, and every fish pond holds about, let me say, 3 tons, which is like 3,000. So, catfish business is quite capital intensive, but very profitable also if everything works out well. Good business. I mean, if I retire tomorrow, definitely I would come and expand that, and I would run it myself. But I'm just saying, under the present economic situation.
What was your biggest hurdle? The biggest hurdle you had to cross?
For me, I would say it's still the cost of feed. We use foreign feed mostly to feed.
Why do you use foreign feed, not local feed? What happened to setting up local plants for something as minor as catfish feed?
Okay, well, we do have plants too, but then the thing is, when you start off at first, you use foreign feeds because the formula is completely, it has all the nutrients in the foreign feeds. Well, it's solid, it's good for the growth of the fish. But then when they get to like 2 months, then you start, interchanging with local feed, which we have a local plant. Actually, on my catfish, I have a YouTube channel for catfish business. I did everything. I have them all, on my YouTube channel. We also have local feeds. But the thing is, when insecurity started in the north, it affected the sales of.
Where was your pond located?
In Benin.
So how does insecurity in the north affect you in Benin?
Where do we get our soya from? Where do we get our millet from? Where do we get all these raw materials that we use for the local feed? We have about 12 different, farm products or farm produce that we use for fish feed, local fish feed, from soya to millet to corn, even flour, and then we have eggs, because it has to be a balanced diet, fats, carbs, protein, and then, we have the amino acids and, the other nutrients that you add to it, very rich, that you have to use to formulate. Otherwise, the fishes won't grow well. That's how you have people who run losses in their businesses because they were using substandard feed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you won't believe it. So that's where the problem started from. And then, of course, the dollar increasing also, because it affects everything, whether you believe it or not. But yeah, insecurity is a major issue. I'll tell you that. Insecurity is a major issue. The farmers, so all those farmers that are now in, what's it called, IDP camps across Nigeria. So, you know, families who can no longer farm because of insecurity, it's detrimental to the economy. It's a huge deal. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
If you were to advise the government right now, because farming, let me tell you, if we had no cars, no electricity, if we had no airports or airplanes, but we had food, we'll be okay.
Definitely.
Food and water are what are unnegotiable. So if you were to advise the government now, what advice will you give the government?
Well, so this is my personal opinion, and this is what I would say that might help a lot. So now we have Flour Mills of Nigeria. We have all these companies who are into Nigerian local feed production for fish farmers. There should be some kind of regulation. You know, a company can't just come tomorrow and say, well, we're going to increase the price of feed by every bag, for example, 400 Naira, just like that. And nobody questions them. So the company takes, listen to this, the company takes 400 Naira from every bag, and then the middleman does his own. And then by the time he gets to the farmer, perhaps about 650 for one bag. Then how am I supposed to make profit? There has to be some kind of regulation, some kind of middleman that you know, some representation or strong farmers representation. I would say, look, you have to meet farmers halfway. You can't just increase the price like that. I think that would help a lot. Also, I would say, I'm not an expert, but I would say this issue of insecurity. I know the government is doing all they can, but there has to be some, okay, fine. If people can, for example, if people can't go back to their homes, right, somewhere in Borno State or Adamawa State, then they're in IDP camps. Okay, we have a lot of land, forest reservations, right? Maybe you should go ahead with the tractors, you know, and make these people who are farmers, who have the experience, farm in these new locations where at least there's some, you know, they can continue their farming work or businesses. I believe. I mean, I know there are short-term solutions and long-term solutions, but I'm just saying what comes to the top of my head. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing anybody can do about the rise of the dollar. I mean, I'm saying for now, we were thinking that with this free whatever with the dollars and the new policy, but you know how much the dollar is to a Naira as of today?
900.
It's gonna be 1,000 by Christmas. I can assure you, and nothing is gonna stop it. So. As a fish farmer, I belong to several farming associations across Nigeria, and people are crying. They feel like, how are we going to be able to sustain this? And they have given up. I had to give up. I didn't want to because of pride. I wanted people to continue to say, oh, she owns a fish farm in Nigeria, but you don't pass that stage, you know, because I don't want to keep losing money. I'll keep my money in the bank if I don't see what else they can do. But I'm saying that they have, you know, insecurity is number one. We need the products. We will be able to use them if we find them at cheaper rates. But I don't know. It's just.
I'm so sorry, not just for you, but for those who are losing their revenue and their potential revenue, simply because we have a system that doesn't work. And you should be the priority of the government. Any government that can cater to the needs of the people, any government that can help the people, be considerate towards the people, that particular government needs to be encouraged. You see, right now, farming is a mainstay of any economy. As they see Canada like that, they farm, go.
Yes. Even here in the US.
America, they don't joke with farming. They don't joke with farming. You see, and this is why I keep saying we cannot keep fighting the North. Everything comes from the North. Tomato, pepper, onion, beans.
Everything does. You know?
Everything, goats, cow.
The truth is that the truth is that we can't do it without each other. Now, when we, want to choke each other up and all that, those are just politicians that are just using us. If we understand the power in us being united, right? How the West depends on the East and the East depends on the South, and how we're all intertwined, we're a powerful force. Unfortunately, the politicians have used tribe and religion to to divide us.
Which is what I said from the beginning. I said, yes, if I had my way, there will be no religion or tribe in this country. It has done us no favor. No favor. We are not better than countries that don't have a God. We are not better than them.
Yeah. Yeah. So until that's taken care of, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. And this change has to start from the crèche, the nursery schools, the primary schools. Our children have to be taught that you're Nigerian first before you're Igbo, Hausa, or Yoruba. Look.
Now, let me ask you a question. So sorry to interrupt you. I hear that that catfish food that comes from abroad contains a lot of chemicals, and this thereby is transmitted to the people from the catfish, from consuming catfish that are raised with plenty chemicals. What are your thoughts on that?
Is that what people are saying? That, listen, I'll tell you this. People should, people will always have their opinions about stuff like that. But I'll tell you this. If you raise catfish from inception in Nigeria, you get your baby fish, it's called fingerlings, and you do not use foreign feed, the growth rate will not be good. Now, but we also have people who use, local feed, but they can't afford it. The affordability is the problem here. We're not talking about the toxicity. As far as I know, there is nothing like that. Look, what kind of fruits are we eating these days? There are GMO fruits now. You buy peaches, nectarines, prunes. Now, all of them are GMO. Does that stop us from eating them? Unless you can afford organic. That's, I don't see a place for that. But even if you want to go to local, can you afford it as a farmer? Will you make profit as a farmer at the end of the day? No. You have to use a blend. You have to use a blend of both of them for you to get.
Okay. Are there different breeds of catfish, or there's just one breed?
I think 3 of them. There are 3. There's hybrid, there's Clarias, and there's one heterobroncos or something like that, if I'm saying it right. So
which one is the most profitable to raise?
I think it depends on the region. We have huge fish farmers all across Nigeria, believe it or not. So I think in Benin, Clarias does very well. Somewhere in Ibadan, Ogun State, that axis, oh my God, you should see their hybrid, huge. And then in the north, I think it depends on the region. But at the end of the day, catfish is mostly mud fish. It does very well in the mud. You understand? Even though with the innovative farming right now, people are doing their fish, raising their fishes in tanks and in tarpaulin ponds considerably well. But, catfish is rugged. That's why it's mostly the kind of fish Nigerians are raising, rugged. It can take all this hash, but the hash, when I say hash, I mean, the water temperature has to be at a certain level so that they don't die off and all that. But, those 3 are the ones I'm aware of. There might be more, but those are the popular ones.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. Do take care of yourself and have a really lovely evening. Thanks for sharing with us. We learned a lot today.
This is to taste.
I would tell her.
Bye.
Bye and God bless.
Thank you.